Shalom, 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 and shalom. I think I'm going to try to do a short message today. I've been thinking about a lot of things. I had to kick a person off my channel who has been a good friend up to this point. There's a few things I don't tolerate. People want to say bad things about me? Okay, fine. They can. They can say whatever they want. I don't care. But this given individual used derogatory terms in regards to Sarraih. Terms that do not apply. And terms I would never use even at the pinnacle of anger. I gave him a warning. He just came back for more. So he's banned, and I don't have any plans to ever unban him. I'm not saying it's not possible. The Lord did say that you should forgive a person 70 times 7. As I have forgiven my Sarraih for what she has done to me. In a way, I have forgiven him, but it's going to take a little longer. I'm not God. I have that bit of a human hang-up, you know? But somebody speaking those words about her, he's lucky he didn't say it in front of me. I still remember what I was. There's a difference from what you were to what you are. He couldn't understand that either. Only sees that which is in front of him, like most people. I mean, if I drank like a fish my entire life for 30 some odd years, and I gave up drinking, I was no longer a drunk, and I completely walked away from it, right? But somebody kept calling me a drunk. It still applies. I sinned. Therefore, I always will be. But what he said about Sarraih was not true. And actually torqued my jaw. I got a little bit angry. I spoke the way I would used to speak, hoping that it would make an impact and hoping that language would be adequate enough to illustrate my disdain. But apparently not. Apparently not. And that's the key to the message. The days that we're going through now is like being metal used by a blacksmith. When you make a samurai sword, they pound it nice and hard and flat, right? And then they bend it up, fold it together, and pound it again. This is called a fold. They will fold the metal 200 times, repeating the process that many times. The purpose is to get all the impurities out of the metal, to make it uniformed, and by heating and cooling it, tempers it and makes it very strong. When people look at the world and say, why is God doing this? Why is he allowing it? You're being tested. You may not like it. He may not like it. But it is what it is, and that's what it's going to be. You know, I know a person that's in prison for 18 weeks unjustly. I know another person that has been fined 2,000 pounds unjustly. And I see other injustice going throughout the world. Things I know about through media and things I know about other ways. I don't have to look, really. I just know the way the world is. So we, as a race, are being tested. And I use the term race as human race. Who are you? What makes you you? What motivates your actions? Are you doing the will of God, or are you doing the will that suits yourself? I mean, I can name off a bunch of MPs in the UK whom are serving themselves. Just like I can name off a bunch of senators and representatives here in Congress in the US for the same thing. It's called selfishness. They only care about themselves and not about anybody else. So the proof of who they truly are is quite visible, quite obvious, and quite transparent. Many people aren't that obvious. They're not that transparent. They hide in the shadows of a lie, masquerading it as the truth. You see it everywhere. Sometimes they do it for reasons that serve themselves. Sometimes they do it out of fear. Sometimes they just do it out of selfishness. Sometimes they do it just out of pure meanness. Sometimes out of ignorance, foolishness, unknowledgeable, unwise, a mistake. To make a mistake is, well, human. And by doing so, if you learn from that mistake, then you have conquered and won the battle. But if you don't, and you repeat it, then you're condemned to repeat it again. If I sit there and I kill somebody, right? It's hard the first time. Second time's a little easier. Third time's a whole lot easier. Fourth time, you no longer care. It goes for a lot of things you see publicly, and it goes for a lot of things that you don't see. There's people out there that masquerade as, I'll use the term angels of light, but they're not. They're not. I've been called one more times than I can think in my life. As everyone who uses that, I tell them the same thing. I'm not an angel. Never have been. Quite mortal. Made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes very foolish, unwise, unconsidered. But I learned from it. So, it makes me human. So when you go out and through the rest of the week, consider that. The question is, who are you? Where are you going? What do you want? Once you can truthfully answer those questions to yourself, then you'll be more on the path that you should be. Well, take care. Be blessed. Shalom.